another session of Java programming language. In today's video, we will see different types of constructor. We'll see what is constructor and what are the types of constructor, and we'll also cover the garbage collector in Java, how garbage collection is done in Java. So let us begin. So what is constructor? Constructor is basically a special method which is used to initialize the object. See, if you do not specify any constructor in the Java class, then by default Java provides a default constructor. We can have different types of constructor like default constructor, parameterized constructor, and we can also create a copy constructor, though copy constructor is not implicitly supported by the Java programming language, unlike C++ language, but we can create a constructor which acts as a copy constructor. Now let us see this practically. So let me open the NetBeans IDE and let us create a new project. Then example. NetBeans IDE creates a class. Okay, to demonstrate the working of constructor, let us create a new class. Suppose class test. Let us define two variables, int a and b, and create the display method, word display. System dot out of value a space and print the value of b also. Now try to create the object of test class. Test ob is equal to new test, and try calling the display method. So you can see here we have not given any constructor in the test class, and we have created the object of test class and calling the display method. So here the Java compiler will by default gives you the default constructor of test class. So if I run it, the default constructor will initialize the value of a and b to 0 and 0. Now if I create all the constructors, suppose test, we know that the constructor name should be same as the class name. So let us first create the default constructor, then let us create one parameterized constructor, int a comma int b. This dot a is equal to a and this dot b is equal to b. Now let us create a constructor which creates a copy of the object. Let us pass the object of test class and do this a is equal to ob dot a and b is equal to ob dot b. Okay, so we have done with the constructors. Now let us create another objects of test class. Test ob1 is equal to new test, and suppose let us pass 10 and 20. So this will invoke the our parameterized constructor here. And now let us create one more object, ob2 is equal to new test, and pass this object ob1 inside the inside this test class ob1. So this will create the copy of ob1, and now let us call the display method using ob1 dot display and ob2 dot display. So now let us run it. So this is our default constructor. This calls the parameterized constructor. We initialize the value of a and b by 10 and 20, and then call the display method, and in here copy constructor is called, and it creates the copy of object ob1. So this is all about constructor. So again I am summarizing what is constructor. Constructor is basically a special method which is used to initialize the variables of the class. By default, if you do not specify any constructor, by default Java compiler provides a no argument constructor or default constructor which initialize the value of variables by the default values. Then we have parameterized constructors in which we can pass some parameters, and we can also create a copy constructor. Though Java does not support implicitly the copy constructor, but we can create a constructor which can act as the copy constructor. So I think now it is clear to you all what is constructor and how do we create a constructor. Now let us see, let's come back to our slides. Now let us discuss about the garbage collection. So basically garbage collection is the mechanism that deallocate the memory of an object which is no longer needed, or which is no longer referenced by a variable. What does it mean? Let us understand what does this means. Actually it is up to the Java virtual machine. Java virtual machine determines when to free up the memory of an object. But we can also request the Java virtual machine to execute the Java garbage collector by some method. I will discuss about that method, and we'll see practically how to manually request the Java virtual machine to execute the garbage collector. So main objective of Java garbage collector is to free the heap memory by destroying the unreachable objects. So now let us first try to understand what is the meaning of unreachable object and how can we make the object unreachable. So there are various ways for that. The first way is nullifying the reference variable. Suppose we have created an object OB. So now this object is pointing this is pointing to this test class. Now if we assign this OB to null, then this object is not referenced by any pointer, and now it is unreachable. So it is eligible to be garbage collected by the Java virtual machine. The another way is, suppose we created two objects, object 1 of test class and object 2 of test class, and if we assign object 2 to object 1, now what will happen? First, previously this object 1 was pointing to this object, and now it is pointing to this object. So this object is free, it is unreachable, so it is also eligible for the, now this object is eligible for the garbage, eligible to be garbage collected by the virtual machine. The another way is, if we create there is one more way, if we create an anonymous object. Anonymous object means if we do not specify the name of object and simply create a object like this, new test. So such type of objects is also eligible for garbage collection. See, this is a anonymous object, since we have not mentioned the name of the object. Now let us see practically how we can perform the garbage collection. Though, please note this line, though garbage collection in Java is done by Java virtual machine automatically. I am stressing on this line. Java garbage collection in Java is performed automatically by the JVM, but it is up to the JVM when to call the Java garbage collector. And there are some ways using which we can manually request, through which we can explicitly request the JVM to run the garbage collector. And one such method is GC method. This GC method of system class is used to request the Java virtual machine to run the garbage collector. There is one more method, which is finalize method, which always runs before the garbage object is garbage collected. So you can write some finalizing code inside the finalize method before the object is destroyed. If you want to write some finalization code, you can write inside the finalize method. For that, you have to override this finalize method using protected void finalize method, right? So now we will see this practically. So let us come back to our NetBeans IDE. Okay, now let us create a new project, Java application, example garbage collection. Let us remove the comment section. Now let us create some objects of this example class. Example GC OB1 is equal to new example GC. Let's create another another object, example GC OB2 is equal to new example GC, and one more object, example GC OB3 is equal to new example GC. Okay, so we have created 3 objects of this class, example GC. Now let us make them eligible for garbage collection. I am making object 1 for eligible for garbage collection by assigning it the null, and let us assign OB2 is equal to OB3. What does this statement do? This will make the object 2 unreachable, as object 2 is now pointing to object 3. So object 2 and object 1 both are eligible for garbage collection, and we can call the garbage collector explicitly. We can request the JVM to run garbage collector explicitly using the system.gc method, right? There is one more method, finalize method, which we can override protected void finalize. Using this method we can write some finalization code. This finalize method is always called before the garbage collection. Let us write something, some message that object is garbage collected. So see, if I run it, you can see this finalize method is called twice because two objects are eligible was eligible for garbage collection. Object is garbage collected and object is garbage collected, right? There is one more way to call the garbage this garbage collector, or to request the JVM to run this garbage collector using runtime class. Runtime dot get runtime dot gc. Both these methods are equivalent. You can use either of them. So if I now use runtime dot get runtime dot gc method, it will do the same thing. So I think it is now clear to you how garbage collection is done in Java. In Java, garbage collection is done automatically by the JVM. The objects which are eligible for garbage collection is non-reachable objects, right? And we can make the objects non-reachable by assigning them null value, or by assigning one object to the another object, etc. These non-reachable objects will be garbage collected automatically by the JVM, but we cannot can't be sure when will the JVM run the garbage collector. So if you want to explicitly request the JVM to run the garbage collector, that can be done using this system.gc or runtime.get_runtime.gc methods. See, this is also the request, and this cannot force the JVM to run the garbage collector. This finalize method is called before the garbage collector. So I think this process is now clear to you. Let us come back to our slides to see some more applications of this runtime class. See, this runtime class provides many methods. Some of the important method is execute method. Using this runtime.get_runtime, we can execute some applications like this runtime.get_runtime.execute notepad, or we can run some another application. Also, there are many other methods, like if we create the object of runtime class, we can calculate the total memory available in the system, total memory available and the free memory available. So this is all for today's. Thank you.